Hey everyone, Zieg here. Today we're diving into an interesting curiosity about the Monster Hunter franchise, the Great Thunderbugs. These creatures, once considered the most dangerous and lethal small neopterons in the series, have quite a peculiar history. However, as the generations passed, it seems like time hasn't been too kind to them. Let's start with some context. Who are these little guys? Well, as the name suggests, they are larger versions of the Thunderbugs. These small creatures serve everything from crafting weapons and armor to traps and other useful items. But the Great Thunderbugs aren't just big bugs. Introduced in the second generation of the franchise, these neopterons stood out due to their special connection to the majestic Yama Tsukami, one of Monster Hunter's most iconic elder dragons. These insects lived inside the Yama Tsukami, feeding on the moss growing within and on the dragon's body. In return, they provided a sort of defense for the Yama, using their electric discharges to fend off any intruder or threat. If you've faced the Yama Tsukami before, you'll probably remember that these little creatures weren't easy to deal with. They dealt significant damage and had deadly attacks, making them the strongest small neopterons in the series. One of their early descriptions stated, "An abnormally larger type of thunderbug that grew inside an elder dragon's body. Known to inhabit the same areas as its host, its electric attacks are deadly." This symbiotic connection with the Yama Tsukami was a standout feature. It wasn't just an interesting detail, it added depth to the ecology of these insects and their relationship with the world around them. Fast forward to Monster Hunter Wilds, and the Great Thunderbugs are back, but with a very different role. Instead of being the fearsome allies of Yama Tsukami, they've been downgraded to native wildlife, used only as improvised shock traps. What's more, their description has been completely changed. The new lore says that they are colonies of regular thunderbugs revitalized by lightning strikes during sandstorms in the Zephyr Plains. In simpler terms, they got zapped and grew bigger. Let's be honest, this explanation is far less impressive than the original. Comparing the idea of bugs that grew inside an elder dragon and protected their host to something as simple as they were struck by lightning and got bigger feels like a major loss in depth, doesn't it? This brings up a question. Why did Capcom decide to change their lore so drastically? There are a few possibilities. First, it could be that this change was made to disconnect the Great Thunderbugs from Yama Tsukami. After all, if Yama isn't appearing in Monster Hunter Wilds, it would make sense to remove any direct ties to avoid confusion. On the other hand, it's possible that Capcom simply overlooked the previous lore, which has unfortunately happened before. While the franchise is known for its attention to ecological and narrative details, some aspects are sometimes adapted or even discarded for gameplay or practical reasons. Whatever the reason, it's a bit disappointing for fans who enjoy these deeper details about the monsters and their relationships with their environment. Another implication of this change is that, without the connection to the Great Thunderbugs, the chances of seeing Yama Tsukami in Wilds decrease significantly. That's a shame, as Yama is one of the most unique elder dragons in the series, both in design and behavior. After all, who doesn't miss battling that giant balloon octopus with its eerie soundtrack? Of course, this discussion isn't something that will directly impact the gameplay experience, but it's fascinating to see how these small details in the lore are handled by Capcom. So, what do you think? Do you feel this change in the Great Thunderbugs description makes sense within the context of Monster Hunter Wilds? Or was it a missed opportunity by Capcom to honor the franchise's lore? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to know what you think. And before wrapping up, don't forget to smash that like button to support the channel. Subscribe for more Monster Hunter content, and hit the notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest news. That's all for now. Thanks for watching, everyone, and see you next time.